Jada Pinkett Smith has been doing a lot of talking as of late, clarifying her marriage to actor Will Smith. We are not going to discuss every single detail in this video, but what we are going to do is summarize at least their relationship, then give you our opinion on this situation. For that, let's paint this together. So, Will Smith was married to Shuri Zampino. They had a son out of this relationship. So, Will Smith and Sherry Zampino were married from approximately 1992 to 1995 or so. Okay. And Shuri broke up with Will Smith on Valentine's Day. Well, when we say broke up, they were married. So obviously there was a fight, divorce. She filed for divorce, and all that proceedings and all that. But they ended the relationship in 1995. Will then calls Jada after being separated from Shuri and asks her who she was seeing. To which Jada responded that she was single. Will then replied saying, "Well, you're going out with me now." Mind you, Jada and Will Smith had crossed paths several times in Hollywood by that time. So Will and Jada became an item, and they got married in 1997. They have two children, Willow, 22, and Jaden, who's 25. In 2016, Jada confirms she and Will have been separated. At the time of this video, we are in October 2023.
Surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that Jada and then 22 years old R&B singer August Alsina had been shacking. So Jada, who was 43 years old at the time, started dating August Alsina, the singer, who was only 22 years old at the time. And it was even reported that August Alsina was Jada's son, Jaden's friend. Why would a mother date her son's friend? We're just going to leave that there, okay? To each their own. Now, back to Jada and August Alsina. So both of them had been sleeping together. And on the Red Table Talk, when Jada, Willow, her daughter, and Gammy, who's Jada's mother, they used to have a show called Red Table Talk. And on that show, they would discuss subjects that most people wouldn't necessarily address because either they feel ashamed or it's a taboo, or they don't feel comfortable talking about it. That was the whole purpose of the show. So they invite people, and people would let loose on the show and talk about their most uncomfortable things that happen to them or are happening to them in their lives. And on that specific show, the show is now canceled, thank God. But on that specific show, Jada had an episode where she discussed her relationship with August Alsina, with her. We don't even know how to call Will anymore. They've been separated. So is Will still her husband, or is Will just her partner? We're going to use partner because she loves using that word. Jada always says that she and Will are in a partnership. So we're just going to use partner. Okay. So on that show, the Red Table Talk, Jada addresses her relationship with the 22-year-old singer, August Alsina. and she referred to it as an entanglement without going too much into details, but we're not stupid. We understand what that meant. Fast forward to 2022. Chris Rock makes a joke at the Oscars, calling Jada G.I. Jane 2 or something like that. Anyways, take a listen to what Chris said exactly, and we'll come back to our commentary.
G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
All right. So you watched that little clip. Hopefully you got what just happened there. Just so you know, when this happened in 2022, we did not have all the pieces together. But now that Jada is talking, we now understand fully what went in Will Smith's head in walking towards Chris Rock to slap the life out of him. And we know Will Smith is not that guy. Will Smith has always been portrayed as a role model. We've never really seen him out of character at all ever before. So slapping Chris Rock at a public event where everybody was well dressed and it's a formal event on top of it, it was televised. It was unlike Will. And we didn't know exactly what Will was going through at that point. But now that Jada has enlightened us, we understand more what happened there. So Chris Rock in 2016 had heard that Jada was separated from Will Smith. So Chris Rock, thought, hey, it was a good idea to call Jada and ask her out. Obviously, Jada must have told Will about that. So Will, at that point, Will knew that Chris wanted to make a move on Jada, but they were separated, but they weren't divorced because they wanted to remain married on paper. And so we know that Chris Rock wanted to date Jada. Chris Rock has tried to also kiss Jada on set. So we know that as well. And on top of it, we really didn't think Chris Rock made fun of Jada. We thought it was a joke. We didn't think he meant anything harmful about that. Will Smith at first was laughing. And then as soon as he saw that Jada Pinkett Smith wasn't laughing, Will Smith stopped laughing, walked straight to Chris Rock to slap him. When we watched the Oscars in 2022, we thought Will was defending his wife. But in actuality, with all these little backstories that we now know, we think it's the little things that went around Jada that frustrated Will, that led Will to act the way he acted. Because the Will we saw in 2022 slapping Chris Rock is not the Will that everybody knows. Something must have happened. On the Red Table Talk, Jada addresses an episode in her marriage with Will where she felt like Will wasn't satisfying her. Almost as if Will was too soft, too nice, too romantic. She needed somebody that was rough toward her. maybe because that's what she's used to. You are watching PopQculture. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any news in pop culture. So Jada has been doing a lot of talking because she is trying to sell her book. What we are about to see in this video does not mean that, by all means, that Will Smith is a saint. It takes two to tango. So for sure, Jada has a part in this marriage being broken, and Will Smith definitely has also a part in the broken marriage they've been living. That said, Jada strikes us as the matriarch that gives orders to Will, and Will does what he thinks Jada requested, whether it's good or bad. That's exactly what happened at the Oscar. If you paid attention, Will laughed first, then saw his wife's face unamused, then stood up, headed toward Chris' direction to slap him. What part of slapping Chris at a red carpet televised event was a great decision? There was a moment in time that Jada was a great influence for Will, but as we're speaking, and like she said, the moment Jada hit the age of 40, and there's a shift that happened leading to the marriage being fickle. We guess making Will also feel some kind of way about himself, not feeling man enough anymore because he's not able to satisfy his wife. And that could be triggering for some men, and we think it is for Will. Jada, during her press tour, also talked about selling drugs when she was younger. It explains her age. It explains why, even 27 years later, she is still mourning Tupac. Every single year, Jada Pinkett Smith posts something about Tupac, almost as if she needs or needed Tupac to be closer to her, almost as if Tupac would make her life easier, almost as if whatever she's going through with Will would have been fixed if Tupac was here, basically. The fact that Jada took charge of herself and provided for herself as a drug dealer may have made her be in a position of a drug lord to controlling Will Smith. Back to Will and Jada separating in 2016. If Jada had been dating August Alsina back in 2016, we wonder who was Will Smith dating at that time? Because we doubt he was single. He was taking a lot of trips around that time. We doubt Will Smith was single. Who was he dating? And here's the thing. Jada explains the arrangement she and Will Smith have. Basically, they remain legally married, but they live separate lives. What we are about to say is unpopular, but we are going to say it anyway. What Will and Jada have going on in their relationship is nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. Usually the man would be the one with many mistresses outside. The wife oftentimes would be a suffering wife. The difference in this case is that Jada seems to be the one that wanted to experience other sexual experiences outside of her marriage, which is oftentimes unpopular too. Not many women come out telling their husbands, "Husband, you don't please me sexually. I need something else. Let's separate so I can find what I like or what I'm looking for. I don't want a divorce. I just want to experience and come back to you whenever I'm ready." This is a lot to take in. Where people have issues with this relationship with Will and Jada is people feel Jada is being disrespectful to Will. As the man of the household, Will Smith appears to be a weak man at this point because he cannot not control his wife, but he cannot, one, satisfy his wife, two, he cannot make his wife happy. And every man wants to provide, protect for the women. And in this case, it seems like Will, from the outside, obviously, we're not saying that's what Will is doing. We're pretty sure Will has provided for Jada all these years and he's still providing for her. But we feel Will Smith may be going through some identity crisis himself, in the sense that he's not able to understand exactly his wife and what she needs and what will make her happy and how he can provide for her so she could be fully satisfied at 100%. Will and Jada are no different. If we may, Will and Jada are no different from other couples who have been together for so many years, are still living together, are still legally married on paper, but are miserable in their marriage. Those people choose to stay together. The only difference between those couples and Will and Jada is Jada and Will have decided to talk about the relationship openly, and we are able to have an opinion about it. But we're doing this video because everybody's talking about it, and we just wanted to, bring a different opinion out there. Although we do not co-sign this partnership or whatever it is that they call it, their lives are not the lives that any of us ordinary people should be living. This is what works for them, and we hope that nobody's taking a page out of their book trying to live their lives exactly like Will and Jada, because this is not for us ordinary people. That's our take on this mess. To each their own. We wish them well. This is all we got for you. Let us know what you think about this. As always, we appreciate you stopping by. If this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment our videos, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.